Hello and welcome to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Trahan, your tour guide to the Virginia Beach area. If this is your first time listening, I am so glad you found this show. Each week, I publish a new interview with locals ranging from musicians, government officials, CEOs, artists, and much more. And my aim is simple. It's to help you discover, define, and then go out and do exactly what you're looking for during your next vacation, relocation, or outing to the Virginia Beach area. And if you're looking to join in on the conversation, take part in monthly giveaways, and get your hands on my custom event calendars, head on over to Facebook and send me a friend request. That's Joseph Trahan. And check out my Facebook group of nearly 50,000 fans of the Virginia Beach area. Don't worry about writing anything down. The links for each episode, along with the Facebook groups, will be in the description below and also in the show notes. All right, here's the show. Today, we're joined by Shannon Mann, a court reporter turned social media influencer. I don't really know anything that Shannon can't do, from modeling different products on Instagram to making some really, really creative videos online showcasing the different products she's involved in. She also has 500,000 fans following along her journey and has been featured on multiple platforms, including Well and Worthy Life, Kicking Cancer in Heels, Raquel Welch Wiggs, Voyage, LA, and Boston Press. Shannon, it is a wonderful pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
It's my honor. Thank you. I'm very humble. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Well, we're super excited to dive into your journey. And of course, I ask every guest this because I'm genuinely interested. I understand you are from the Virginia Beach area, but you decided to stick around and build your life and your business here. Why is that?
So born and raised here, school here, all of the things. And then when we got married, we're raising our family here. It's just a really nice, it has a little bit of everything, right? You're a few hours from the mountains, you're close to the water. It just has everything. It's a very nice, well-rounded place.
Absolutely. I love that. And for our listeners who are not familiar with the area, you are associated with a town called Chesapeake, correct?
I actually live in Suffolk.
Suffolk. That's the one. I was thinking largest city per acreage. I was like, it's either Chesapeake or Suffolk. Which one is it?
And Suffolk is one of those odd towns that spans quite a distance, covers a large area there. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So Shannon, would you mind sharing with us a little bit about your journey, some just your experience through court reporting, and then what kind of led you into the social media influencer world?
Oh, wow. Do we have all day? Okay. So I started court reporting 30 some years ago. It's been an amazing career and it's been quite the education. I know a little bit about everything, but not a lot about anything. But what led to my social media career was my daughter went to college in 2014, and we were very immersed in her life. And my husband coached her volleyball. And when she went away, we just said, wow, what are we going to do with ourselves? So I actually started a platform. My platform was cooking. I would cook these creative, delicious meals, colorful, and I would post them. And then my daughter one day said, Mom, you should really your passion is fashion and girly things. And, you're really good at that. So it sort of shifted, and that's where I am today. And I have met incredible people in this platform. I have some of my best friends that I met right here. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, social media has an interesting way of connecting people in, uncharted territory. It's very relatively newer experience, right? Who knew you could be connecting with people online? That's kind of how this community started. I mean, a lot of these folks here discovering Virginia Beach are unfortunately not locals yet, but, are tourists visiting the area and looking for inspiration as well. Shannon, during that time, and I definitely want to, capture this moment with you, because a lot of folks may be in this season as well, where they have had a career, they've been doing the same old thing, and it works great. They, like you said, jack of all trades, it's a master of some, right? You're mastering life and kind of figuring things out. What do you say to those people who are at that point where they're looking for something new or something fresh?
And it's a great topic. And I have a large midlife influencer, pod, and we talk about this often. I still do court report. I love it. I love my clients, and I don't see that going anywhere, but this has just opened up a whole different world. When you meet like-minded people, you're in this platform, you have the same goals, same mindset, where you go to work every day to maybe a 9 to 5 or whatever your career is. And these are people that, maybe have the same career as you, but maybe not the same interest. So it has really opened up huge opportunities for me, huge friendships. I've been to people's houses that I've met online. I've had people here. It's really, if someone would have told me you're going to be doing this when you're in your 50s, it's comical. It's actually, and sometimes I find myself saying, what am I doing? But my advice to those people that find yourself in that space, be open-minded. Don't be afraid to try new things. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out. Okay, then you've tried it. Check, move on, right?
Yeah, I love that. And not being afraid to make those changes or make those attempts at trying something new. It almost feels like a good old fashioned club, right? A book club, a wine club, a hangout area. It's just all digital now that kind of allows you to kind of funnel in your similar interests in a really, fast paced way that gets you connected with people a lot more quickly. Shannon, would you mind sharing specifically your platform and, of course, the different messaging and products and service that you offer within that space?
Sure. So I can be found on Instagram, Oysters to Pearls. Also have a blog, oysterstopearls.com. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Threads, all of the things. And also, who knew at 54 that we would be tossing around this lingo like it's nothing, but so my following is geared towards midlife, embracing midlife. We talk about menopause, just anything midlife, empty nest, this that we're talking about right now, just rediscovering yourself. So fashion, food, wine, just embracing this season of life.
Yeah, I love that. Would you mind taking us back to the empty nester portion? Because I know, as you mentioned before, your daughter had, she went off to college, she was doing her own thing, and you and the hubby were kind of left alone at the house. Like, what do we do now? You pour your heart and your soul into this person, and they just leave you. What happens next?
Right. And that was devastating. And I remember we dropped her off at college, and I remember driving home. And when we got home, just looking at my husband and saying, are we going to be okay? Do we like each other enough because we were so immersed in this person, and after a couple weeks, you're just like, I hope they don't come home to wash clothes this weekend, because you get so used to being an empty nester at that point. But it's a great time to rediscover yourself, rediscover your marriage, your relationships, yourself as a person. And, what is this next season going to look like, and, it's a fun time. Actually, at first it's scary, but then the sky's the limit, really.
Yeah. What would you say, looking back, was one of the most harder adjustments to deal with during the empty nester transition? And perhaps, if you don't mind, kind of sharing a little bit more about maybe some of the things you tried to kind of, embrace it and kind of move along during that season.
So I think, maybe just rediscovering, like I say, your marriage, dating each other. We have a lot more friends now than we did then, because then your friends, and there's still some of our friends, but your friends at that point are really your children's friends' parents.
Sure.
For the most part, because you're traveling volleyball, you're doing all of these things, and you're just associated through that way. And we still have great friends through that season of our life. But now We found a great church in our area. We go to Liberty Live. Shout out to Liberty Live.
Absolutely. Shout out to Liberty Live.
Yeah. And we really got plugged in there. And, there are some great things like that in the community. Just there's so many things in this area. To come back to your platform, the Virginia Beach area, the surrounding areas, there's things here that I have still yet to do. And I've lived here my whole life. Somebody will say, have you ever been to this place or that place? And it's crazy that sometimes I haven't even heard of that place. So there's so much to do here. There's water sports, just all sorts of things. And so this is a great time of your life to get out and try those things when it's just you, and you're not worrying about all these kids in tow.
I can see that, because there's just so much here. What's one thing, Shannon, maybe you did independently, or maybe with your husband, that at first was a little nerve-wracking, but then you guys went and did it and you were like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And now you recommend it to all your friends. Anything stand out to you?
Well, I think all of the things that you do when you don't have your child at that point, it almost feels like, like some scandalous thing that you're doing, and you're not involving these little people in your memories, but that's a time when you create your own memories, and, just even doing things that you did with them, but doing it as a couple or as a midlife person. Busch Gardens, we're getting ready to go to Christmastown, just all of those things that you used to do those with your young kids. It's a fun time to go do it and experience it, by yourself, and not have to share your food or your candy, or, it's just a fun time.
I love that. So simple, but so important, right? To just have those moments and opportunities. Because a lot of people, when the kids leave, unfortunately, a lot of couples, their marriage might dissolve, or they kind of get more distant, or it takes a couple of years to kind of figure it out. If you don't mind sharing, were there any instances where you were like, oh my gosh, this is difficult? Like, how do we manage this? Any particular maybe moments, or just kind of a season where you were like, we're going to need to spend a little bit more time together? And if so, what did you guys do to kind of rekindle that spirit?
Well, I think it's also a time to find what you like personally, and find your own interests, rediscover yourself. Because once you do that, you have your own interest, your spouse or significant other has their own interest, and it's good to have those things too. And just like now, I find myself traveling a little bit with the social media, mostly on the weekends, but that's an interesting thing that I wouldn't have seen myself doing 10 years ago, even. So it opens up a lot of opportunities to, once you rediscover yourself as a person, I think you can connect to your spouse or significant other better as well, because you're feeling more fulfilled and more well-rounded as a person.
Yeah, just rediscovering that identity. What excites you? What might you kind of scares you a little, that you're still going to go out and do anyway? Just because it makes you feel alive, right?
Right, because you're not just a wife and a mom. You're still a human with your own wishes and desires, and you want to try these things and be open to it. And so it's a great time to do that.
That is so
it's something
cool.
to look forward to. It's something to look forward to, I can assure you.
Yeah, what an interesting perspective, because unfortunately, the stereotype and the mindset might be, when you're older, it might be a little bit more boring. Things might be a little bit more slow. But as I've been able to connect with our community here, Discover Virginia Beach, who are 45 plus, it is the opposite. It is very fun. It is very interesting, and there's less strings attached. I just did a live stream, and I brought my baby in here because I was on baby duty. I was like, this is not as fun as it is just trying to record by myself, right?
Don't get me wrong, that's like the best season of your life. But
they're amazing. They're amazing.
Yes. But you're responsible for this other person. So the next season, you're only responsible for you. And that's something to look forward to. But it's rediscovering things from a more mature lens. Sure. And okay, I've done that, and now I'm going to do this and enjoy myself,
Yeah, absolutely. So Shayna, I'd love to dive a little bit more into your journey through social media. As you mentioned before, you've had quite a few opportunities we talked to prior to the call that you were like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know if this was a possibility. Would you mind sharing one or two of those really interesting brand deals that kind of came about just with you posting casually? And then of course, what opportunities they led to?
So I'm trying to think of one specific.
And you could share a few. I mean, it's
Yeah,
always fun to
I'm
talk
still,
social media.
yeah, and I'm still humbled and in awe when I get asked to represent a brand, and I take it on as my baby. I want to do the best possible thing for that brand, and I want them to be happy, that they asked me and that it's worked out great. But I'm still, every time I'm asked, I still get excited, which is, you would think it would be old hat now, but I'm still excited, and I get excited, and it gets your creative juices going, like, okay, how can I rep this brand in a different way, a fun way? Because you've seen my reels, I like to keep it
It's
fun
always
and
fresh. I
interesting.
love it. Is there a certain process or method that you go through for like figuring out like, okay, I'm going to do this transition? I know recently you had one where you put the clothes, they were floating in the air. You swiped them from your phone and then you took one step and now you're
Yeah.
wearing the outfit. Like, how do you come up with those?
Okay, so in midlife, you don't sleep. That's something that you don't sleep in midlife, so you lie awake and you can think about all of these things that you're going to do,
Really?
and
Really?
that's
Okay.
that's where most of my creative ideas come from while I'm laying there at night. And I do have an amazing lady that I work with that makes all of my visions come to reality. But I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2021, and I've had a lot of opportunities to use my platform for good in that way. I've made a lot of connections, lifelong connections, people that have gone through breast cancer. And who knew, but maybe that's the purpose of the big whole purpose of this. Who knows? But I recently did a Raquel Welch wigs. That was kind of a fun thing. But they're all fun. They're all fun and they're all different. And I'm not going to say the name of this one because I'm still working with them. But
Sure.
when they approached me, I wanted to take on this because I believed in the mission, but I wasn't sure that I could present it in a way that was good for my followers. And so that was good because it pushed me outside of the box. And I think they're very happy with the content, and we were able to make it all come together. I just wasn't sure it was a good fit, but I believed in it. So I wanted to make it work, and it turned out great.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, just leaps and bounds from that journey through social media. Cause a lot of people, when they think social media or influencer, they see this, in Mario, there's those little question mark boxes that kind of spin around and they change shapes and colors. It's really unpredictable and unknown. And, it takes quite a bit of skill. And unfortunately, many people don't think it takes much effort, but it takes a lot of time and effort to really design and lay out that process for creating that content and building that audience. More so leaning onto the community aspect, Shannon, what do you feel are maybe one or two of the more important elements to have when building a brand focused on community and ensuring that your viewers are getting the best experience through each brand deal that you're working on?
Right. So back to what you just said a minute ago, that is a misnomer. It is not. It's hard work. It's
Yeah.
hard work, and it's a lot of work. And through the thought process to making your vision, come to fruition, it is hard work. But I think authenticity is what I'm going to say is what you need to really build a good brand. If you're just doing, matter of fact, I just turned down a deal that I really wanted to do, but I did not feel like it was a good fit for me. And people don't see that, the things that come across your desk that you say no to.
Sure.
But I think authenticity is, it's so important. And I think people feel that, they see that. And if you can't be passionate about it, or at least have some interest in it, then it's not even worth your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and going back to the audience portion too, because like you want to be able to provide that support and that information while also being true to yourself. Unfortunately, TV has that way of sucking people into becoming different than they might have otherwise been appeared to. So it's very important to stay true to who you are in the authenticity piece. Thanks for sharing that.
Right, because people are they're gonna pick up on it. They're gonna pick up on it right away.
Yeah.
And there are things that do come across or come up as opportunities, and it sounds like a ton of fun. But at the end of the day, you have to think, is this gonna feel real? Is it going to feel real to my audience? And am I just going to be experiencing it for my own personal selfishness, or am I going to be able to offer something back? And I think that at the end of the day, when you lay your head on your pillow, you have to know that you did what was right and good and authentic for your following.
Sure. Especially if you're going to be lying awake for a couple hours, you might as well.
I mean, right.
Go to bed with a clear conscience. Yeah.
That's right.
I love that, Shannon. I love it. Well, thank you for opening up and being transparent with us and being authentic and representing that well. Community is a big part of this organization and this podcast as well. I'd love to know for you, in line with the authenticity piece, in what ways has your local audience and also digital audience influenced the way in which you conduct your business?
The way I wish I conduct my business. Well, we're all, I think I am, of course. I mean, I learn every day, and I learn from my followers. I learn from other peers on this platform, because we have to keep evolving and going forward and growing. And I think that's the biggest thing. I just went to Influencers of Midlife Summit in Vegas, and I don't know what I was expecting when I signed up to go, but I left feeling so empowered, but also feeling so much more just smarter about the things, and not one specific thing. I can't say one specific thing that I learned, but collectively, I felt like we're just better. And I think that works across the board and in life too. You're better together. And, like I say, I learn a lot from my followers. Have you tried this? Have you seen this? And I recently posted about some tennis shoes, because I was suffering with a foot issue, and I had a lot of people respond and give me advice. And so we are better together. And it's a great place to develop those friendships. And they give me information, I give them information, and it's a great marriage there.
Absolutely. It's a very generous feedback loop. When you have people aligned with your values and they can offer that feedback and support that you sometimes folks don't get in person. It kind of starts online. Right. It provides that opportunity as well. It's always good to meet in person too, as well. But
yeah, and I'm not sure that I answered your question directly on point there, but yeah.
No, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. And I like that. I like that alignment piece as well. Like you said, there wasn't one specific thing, but it was just, you all had that similar mindset, right? Just like on our podcast, it's all about discovering Virginia Beach, just taking the lens off of restricting yourself. Like, I can't do this. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too this, I'm too that. And removing those excuses and giving yourself that opportunity to say, you know what, this scares the life out of me, but I'm still going to go out and do it. I'm still going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to, go out and conquer the world. Or,
yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You can fall flat on your face, and you can at least hold your head up high and say, okay, I did that. It didn't work for me, but at least I had the courage to try it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. During the social media phase of, content creation and things like that, have you noticed a common theme within your audience, a messaging or perhaps a slogan that you've really adopted and honed in on your brand's philosophy overall?
Well, I think what we were just saying, it's going to scare the what out of you, but we're going to do it anyway. And I don't know if it's just this time in your life where you just throw caution to the wind and you just go for it. But I would say that is sort of my motto to live by. I mean, not that I'm out here doing crazy things, but there are things that, and I do draw the line. I just was offered to go jump out of an airplane.
Sure.
And I said, I'm not going to jump out of a perfectly safe airplane. I'm going to draw the line. But I am all for fun, and I'm all for doing and trying new things, whatever that looks like. A painting class, canoeing, kayaking, the river, I'm all for that. And I think that we should embrace that, because as we age, this is a way to keep your mind sharp and a way to keep your mind growing and engaged and stimulated.
Yeah, absolutely. And just staying fresh and on top of things is definitely a really good thing to do for your overall health. And of course, when you live in an area like Virginia Beach, it's hard to come up with excuses not to try new things, for sure.
Right. And, last year, I don't make New Year's resolutions. We're coming up on a new year. It's a great time to have this conversation, but I don't come up with resolutions. I usually come up with a word and try to live by that word. And so last year, my word was yes. I was going to say yes to more. And I did that. I took multiple trips. I was moved very far out of my comfort zone, and I grew in every single situation. And I think there's a lesson in that. And, you can be overstretched too. I'm not talking about that sort of thing, saying yes to every little thing that comes along.
Very different. Yeah.
Right. But saying yes to things that really move in your soul and make you think that this could make me really happy. I'm going to try this, and I'm going to see what this is all about. And so yes to more of those things.
I love it. I love it. And Shannon, I really appreciate you expanding upon that. I asked it again because I want the audience here to know that how authentic you are. I know they already picked up on it, but definitely to go and follow you and check out all the great things you have going on. I'll include all the links in the description below. And I see we're almost at time, Shannon. I want to be respectful of your resources. So we're going to go ahead and transition to our rapid fire section. Are you ready?
Right. I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready.
What is your favorite spot in Virginia Beach to visit?
My favorite spot in Virginia Beach. Rapid fire. I'm not so rapid there. So I just recently, if we're going to talk about restaurant, we can talk about restaurant first. But I recently visited the Leaping Lizard there off of Shore Drive. I had never been there. It was incredible. It was really the whole ambiance. It's not fancy, but it was a very fun Saturday hang place. I enjoyed it a lot.
And for those wondering, it's not reptile food, right? What kind of food? It's not
reptile food. I actually had a salmon salad that was amazing. I'm trying to remember what my husband had, but everything that we had was incredible. It was really good. Also just visited Heirloom down near the courthouse. Incredible, and really incredible. But my favorite thing to do in Virginia Beach, as far as an activity, of course, the oceanfront is amazing, but there's so many activities down at the Sandler Center. They have amazing events going on down there. I would say that's probably one of my favorite things to do. I love concert. I love live music, all of that.
Love it. Love it. Great options. Now, Shannon, next one for you. Do you prefer morning walks or evening strolls here in the area with sun rising to the east and the beautiful sunsets? It's kind of hard to contend with.
Right. So the sun comes up right out of my back window. I don't get the sunset here where I am necessarily too well, but love to walk in the early morning. We also walk in the evening. I love the trails down there, Shore Drive. There's a really good trail, Seashore State Park. It's a great, great place to go and bring your dogs. Love that place.
That is perfect answer, because that leads me to my next one, Shannon. Seashore State Park or Mount Trashmore for a day out?
Oh, definitely Seashore State Park. Yes, I probably have pictures on my Instagram of, we did that walk often during COVID, along with half of the population, I'm sure.
Right? Yeah. My wife was like, we have to go walk somewhere. I was like, let's go to Mount Trashmore. We did that like probably for like 3 months straight. It was great,
Yeah,
great walking trails for sure.
yeah.
What's a book or author that has influenced you that possibly you've been reading recently, or one that's kind of just stuck around and been a good go-to resource for you?
So currently I was just a light reading Emily Henry, love her books. They're easy and fun. But then I read, I just ordered her new book, Barbara Slinglover, I believe that's how you say her name, Demon Copperhead, Poisonwood Bible. All of those books are incredible. They're moving, they're haunting, they leave you thinking about them for weeks. And to me, that's a mark of a good book.
Ooh, absolutely. What genre is this?
Demon Copperhead, it's not, I read it in probably 2 days. It's not a light read. It's about the opioid crisis going on, but it's specifically about a young man, and it is so moving. And I read it probably a year ago, and I still find myself thinking about that book. So that's a good one.
Wow, great recommendation. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
What is one of your most memorable interactions with a follower online?
Oh gosh, so I have to tell you about this. Let's see, this was probably the year or two before we went into the pandemic. And I told my husband that I was going to go to Rhode Island and meet this friend that I met online. He had he thought I had lost my mind. He said, this is dangerous. How can you don't even know this person? I said, I've known her for 10 years online. That was hilarious, actually. But I did step out of my comfort zone. I had never flown by myself as a single passenger. Went to Rhode Island, met with two other ladies, stayed at my friend. You can find her online, Isabella. She is Confessions of a Super Ager. We stayed at her beautiful beach home for 3 days. It was incredible. But now I have these IRLs in real life a lot. And I still love to meet these people. And I fangirl myself, because like, oh, I'm getting to meet this person in real life that I feel like I've known forever.
Wow, that is so funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. We still get a big chuckle out of that.
Shannon, I'm going to go a little bit off track here. Do you remember when Facebook came out and it seemed
Oh
like
yeah.
everybody was worried that like, obviously you want to be responsible in the internet and it's, not a joking matter because
Right.
identity theft is a real thing. But nevertheless, Facebook, when it came out, was very much so like, it's the end of the world, it's the end of times, everyone's going to have all your information. And it turned out to be this other wonderful, beautiful thing.
Right. And I still enjoy that platform as well. It's a way to stay in touch with, your friends, that you
Yeah.
wouldn't otherwise stay in touch with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great for building community. Speaking of building community, or at least enjoying the community around us, would you prefer a spa day or a shopping spree? And then, of course, where are you going on that spa day or shopping spree?
I think now that's a tough question. That might be a toss up. So I'm going to elaborate on both since it's a
Let's
tie
hear
for
it.
me. If I was going to have a spa day, I enjoy, the Cavalier has a beautiful spa there. I think I actually have a reel on my Instagram. My daughter and I went, it was wonderful. Also, like Ford's Colony, that area up in Williamsburg, Kings Mill, they have a great spa there. If I was going shopping, unfortunately, so many of the good spots are gone. But I would
Yeah.
have to say probably Town Center or Lynn Haven.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, a jewelry store somewhere, maybe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last one for you, Shannon. Who would be a dream interview or collaboration for you to connect with and work with? Anybody in the world, and I'll always like to reference this past, they can pass away or currently alive. So.
That is also a tough one, but I do love to travel. We love to travel as a family, and I think my dream collaboration would probably be with a travel brand, maybe a cruise line, or one of these travel collaborations. So I think would be a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah, I know Carnival's email address, so you could send them your way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shannon, thank you so much for your time. This has been a wonderful conversation. I really appreciate it. Before we go, I'd love to roll out the virtual red carpet for you. Anything that you got going on or any final messages you want to leave the audience with, the floor is all yours.
If anybody is going to be in the Richmond area on Wednesday night, I'm going to be at Light RX. It's across from Short Pump Mall. We're going to be doing a red carpet event. They're going to be giving away skincare treatments. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's in the Richmond area. And I think we're winding down the year as far as events and things like that. But 2024 is going to be good. I already have a feeling about that. So I would love to connect with whoever's listening here. I do all of my posting myself. I do all of my answering myself because I want to have those relationships. So would love to have you on board.
Wonderful. Well, Shannon, we will definitely include the link to all of your social medias down in the description below. And I encourage our listeners to go and check out Shannon and everything she's got going on, especially for the new year. Even during the winter months in the Virginia Beach area, there is so much going on.
Yeah.
With that said, Shannon, thank you again for your time. And thank you to our dedicated listeners for checking us out on another episode. We hope you found some value in it. If so, leave a like or a comment down in the description below, and we'll see you all in the next episode.